Hey guys, I finally broke my PB one day before the end of the season, so I used the Splashyard deck, and then I just want to share you guys some replays, and then the last one being the one that I actually broke my PB with. It was kind of intense against a lockbait deck, so let's hop into some replays and see how I approach some of these matchups. Alright, so the first replay that I'm going to share with you guys is against Lava Balloon. So this is a common Lava Balloon deck, so let me show you guys how I approach this matchup over here. Alright, so he actually plays a Tombstone in the middle. You could actually bar barrel that, or I watched this I think from the God RF, so they did this on the Tombstone, but he decides to defend with Mega Minion, so I guess that's also perfectly fine, because he played more Elixir already. So basically we're just still cycling and figuring each other's deck. So over here he's gonna play his minions in the back, so I'm gonna play my Ice Wiz a little higher in case he decides to Lava in front, so he goes with the Balloon. So against balloon decks, this is generally what you want to do. You want to put your building there and then try to activate King Tower without taking a balloon hit. So this is the best scenario. Of course, if you do not have your building in hand and he goes balloon, it's still okay to take one hit and activate King Tower at the start of the game. Alright, so over here he most probably knows what I'm playing, and I know that he's playing Lava Balloon as well because our decks are pretty standard. Okay, so over here I decide to Baby D in the back. I was only up like one Elixir, but I still decided to go in with the Graveyard over here, just to figure out what his ground troop is. So over here you can see that I do not have enough Elixir for poison at the moment, so I decided not to go in with the additional poison because that would be a huge overcommit. And again, because we have a King Tower activated, so even though I'm down like a few Elixir, I can still defend his entire push if he decides to go Lava. Okay, so over here he decides to go Lava, and then because we are kind of down, like about 4 Elixir, so there's no way we can attack, we have to defend here. So we place our bomb tower there in case it decides to go with the balloon. And then the key is also just to space out all your troops. So we can see over here, we cycle the Baby D on the right. I decided to go with my Ice Wiz over here near the bomb tower, because the bomb tower was going to die anyway. Whether he's going to fireball or not, it's going to die with just one touch from the balloon, and then we can see the death damage from the bomb tower. And then the King Tower activation helps a lot. So we clean this push up pretty decently. And then because we already know what his defenses are, so this time we immediately go with the Graveyard Poison. Because we have to poison, if not we will not get any damage. And then we can see here this push, we did quite a good amount of damage. And then because there are only like 30 seconds left, so it decides to go Lava in the back still. So I decide to be aggressive here, because I know that if he goes into my lane with his big push, I can defend his entire push. Because Ice Wiz, NATO, Baby D plus Bomb Tower's defense is super good. So over here we just go in with Graveyard, and then we didn't even need the poison, so that was good. And then we set up our Bomb Tower again to distract them. Doesn't matter if he fireballs or not. So again we just wait. If he decides to fireball, he doesn't. So this time we just spread out our units, and then we do a poison on defense. 6 seconds left, so this was pretty clean, I would say. Alright. So this is generally how you guys want to approach playing against Lava Balloon. Try to get a King Tower activation as early as you can. Alright, so hop into the next replay. Alright, so the next replay I'm going to share is against actually this Hawk Motor Earthquake. So this one, the key is actually to be very patient. I'm going to show you guys in this replay. I was basically taking a lot of damage throughout the entire game, but because we know that he only has Earthquake, when decks do not have big spell, you pretty much just cycle everything in the back and try to be patient and then wait for your opportunity to get a good counter push. So against Hawk, you usually want to go same lane as him. So okay, he goes Motor here. We don't have a Knight, so we have to do Ice Wiz there and then prepare in case he decides to... Yep, so he decides to go bad, so we have to do a little bit more, and now we take one Motor shot, unfortunately. But that's okay. So we know that he's playing some form of Motor. We don't poison there because again that would be overcommit. So again we're basically just figuring each other's deck out at the moment. And then over here, of course when we see Hawk Rider we try to get the King Tower activation ASAP. So we use the Knight to block and then we activate the King. So we don't know his spell yet at the moment, so we gotta either save Bomb Tower for the Hawk or Bomb Tower for the Motor. Because our cycle is kind of awkward, so we still have to go with the Bomb Tower for the Motor. And then over here he reveals his Earthquake, so that's actually great, but because I would prefer to face Earthquake than Rockets, but because he Earthquake, so we have to play an extra troop. If not, the Motor will get quite a few shots there. Okay, so we basically know his entire deck now, so now we're just gonna try to cycle into his lane. We don't have bomb tower or NATO at this point, so we have to take a couple of hawk hits, but again, it's not the end of the world. So you can see now we already taken like 1500 damage more. So over here we can't go in with the graveyard. We just decide to poison the Muskie so that there is no counter push over there. So again, basically we're just trying to hang on still and wait, keep going into the same lane and then wait for double elixir. So as you can see again, the cycle is kind of awkward because I don't have my knight again. So we're gonna like do it the same way we did it the previous push, and then we try to defend without taking a mortar shot, because against Hawk Rider Earthquake, it's better to deny more of the damage early, because towards the end he could just Earthquake cycle you. Okay, so over here again we're just gonna cycle in the back. Nothing too crazy over here. We're gonna see he decides to go opposite lane, so perfectly fine. We just defend it with the knight to distract the Valkyrie, and then we NATO the Hawk Rider. Even if I don't want to use NATO, I could just bar barrel the Hawk, because that side is the healthier side. King Tower activated, we won't take much damage. And then as you see, we just poison the Musketeer just to get some additional chips. So this time we defend it differently. We're going to use the Ice Wizard and the Baby D immediately. And then we'll try to save the bomb for the Hawk. He predicts we're going to go with the Graveyard. So we wait a little so this Valkyrie is up. And then we go for the Graveyard. And then we try to get poison on the Muskie. We got fortunate here that the mortar locked onto some of the Skellies from the Graveyard. So we didn't take any mortar shots. And then we're going to prepare for his Hawk Rider. Ideally, we want to use troops because he has Earthquake, so he's highly likely going to get some Earthquake value on my buildings. So we have to deny most of the Hawk hits from now onwards. It's getting dangerously close. So again, we're just going with the Graveyard, and then we save our poison for the Musketeer. We're not too concerned about the other troops over there. Again, we're just going to be cycling over here. So as you can see, we already actually got back, we're back in the game because the damage is kind of even. So we want the knight to tank because the knight has more HP, so we have to do this. So he Earthquakes there, just basically trying to cycle. Again, we go in the Graveyard and then we poison, you save poison for the Musketeer again. So this is what you generally want to do. You got to take care of the Musketeer. You can't let the Musketeer come for the counter push. So again, we try to defend without the building. Because it's better to defend with troops because you get counter push. The building just stays there or just dies. So again, we're kind of still a little behind. But as you can see, we're slowly catching up. We just have to keep going with the Graveyards and poison. But this time I just decided to poison because I didn't have enough elixir for both. So this time we get into a damage lead, and then again we just try to defend. So he's gonna go with his Hawk, so we gotta play our buildings higher a bit. He goes with his mortar aggressively, so we gotta put a ground tank here. So basically we're just reacting to what he does and then always trying. So now we have our elixir, so we can go in with our Graveyard and our poison and our barb barrels. Okay, so over here we do good damage here because we have a ground tank, and then he goes with the Hawk. So again we go with Ice Wiz and NATO, even though we have our building. We decide not to use the building. So it gets kind of close towards the end, but we managed to scrape through. Alright, so generally try to be patient. Do not try to rush against such decks. Perfectly fine cycling things in the back when they do not have a big spell. But because he's playing a mortar, so I just want to put troops a little higher just to be safe. Alright, so I'll hop into the next replay. Alright, so the next replay that I'm going to share is actually against Golem Lightning. So Golem Lightning is really common. I'm just gonna show you my blueprint of how to deal with Golem Lightning. Alright, so let's say Golem's first play, it's not so wise to go like Graveyard opposite, because that's gonna, if he trades tower with you, it's not good. So over here we just poison, and then again we just try to play passively with this deck, because this deck actually kind of shines in double elixir. So let's say I had a chance to go Knight Graveyard. I decided not to do that because if he decides to trade with me, it's kind of bad for the Graveyard player. So again we're trying to play defensively, so we try to activate King as always against any deck. Always get a good King activation, it's always good. So again we just take a little bit of Golemite damage, that's perfectly fine. And again we're kind of playing passively over here. Okay, so we wait till double, because double is the time when he Golems in the back, and then we can actually punish. Alright, so seeing that he cycled there, so we decide to go with a Graveyard there, and then we defend both sides, so that's fine because it's almost getting to double elixir. And then because he decided to defend that, I felt that I could go with the Graveyard here. And then we get some good damage on this side over here. And then that forces, because he used quite a lot of elixir, so we couldn't golem. So again, I could keep up the pressure on this side of the arena, and then we go in with the graveyard again. So he decides to go with the lightning. That's also good for me, which means he cannot go lightning on offense. So again, we get a troop value, so we poison over there. So again, we're playing kind of passively. This time we do not go graveyard into his golem because that's just gonna give him a good counter push value. Alright, so we're gonna see lightnings over here, so we poison, and then we try to cycle back to our bomb tower over here. So we gotta keep the defense clean. It's okay if he lightnings your bomb tower, right? So you can have Ice Fist, you can have NATO, so the defense is actually very, very strong. So don't have to worry about him getting lightning. Just space out your troops and do not give him lightning value. So this time we try to go into this lane over here because he already just played his golem. So we're defending, we're trying to win the bridge battle, which is always key with this deck. Try to win the bridge battle. So again, he used the last minute NATO, so we know he's kind of low. So again, we're trying to cycle our troops here, and then we try to go in with the graveyard when we can. Just keep applying pressure so that he cannot golem, because the moment he golems, he's gonna lose because he won't have enough elixir to defend our graveyard. So over here, we keep up the pressure, and then we can still poison, and then it's most probably just a poison cycle away, or we might even take it in this push here. Alright, so in general, this is how you want to play against golem. Do not go graveyard opposite lane if he's gonna golem first play, because most probably in single elixir, if you spend like 7-8 elixir opposite, you're not gonna be able to defend. So try to be patient, and then try to get to double, and then that's when you can attack. Alright, and never ever go into the golem with the graveyard. Unless that tower is really low, and then you can do that. If not, it's more advisable just to be patient and to defend. Alright, so I'm gonna hop into the next replay, which is the one that I finally broke my PB with, and we'll see you guys there. Alright, so this is the matchup that I finally broke my PB with. It's against a log bait, but not the traditional one. So thankfully it didn't have Dark Goblin, but it still had like Stab Goblins and a Cannon card, which is just a sub for the Prince. So let's see how we finally managed to break our PB here. Alright, again, as with any deck, you would just prefer to cycle, so he throws his barrel there, so we just defend it with our barrel, and then again, we know he's gonna play log bait, so we just gotta figure out which variation he's playing. So he cycles Princess there. If I had poison, I would just poison the Princess, but I didn't have it, so we just cycle in the back with him, and then he decides to log, so then we finally poison the Princess. Alright, so basically we're just trying to play passively here. I decided not to do anything to the Stab Goblin because I was afraid if I use my Knight now and he has like a Prince kind of thing, that would be trouble for me. We tried to activate King here, but it was unfortunate. We didn't get the activation. So as always, try to get a good activation early against any deck. Okay, so again here we're just basically cycling with him. We might play the bomb tower here in the middle, just in case, because when we see Rascals we'll think it's gonna be a Prince. But fortunately it's a Cannon card. I don't know which is better, but we're just defending basically. Again, trying to get to double. Okay, so we basically know it's a weird variation of the log bait deck now. So he throws his barrel, we cannot screw up anymore. So we get a clean log over here, and then over here it would be too much of an overcommit if I went in with the graveyard because we only had 5 elixir. So luckily I did not. Here he decides to go Princess. I don't have a better counter, so I decide to poison everything. Again, we take quite a bit of damage, like we were about 900 damage down. Almost approaching double elixir. Okay, so over here we decide to just cycle a little higher because I didn't want to give him rocket value because most log bait decks run that. So now we see that Cannon card. Again, I felt that it would be too aggressive to go in with the graveyard over here. So we decide again to defend. And then this time we're cycling the Baby D a little higher. So he decides to rocket that. This is key because we cycled the Baby D a little higher, so he missed the rocket here. And then we can stack up troops. You see, I put the Ice Wizard, and then I put the Knight, and then we went in with the graveyard because he just used his rocket. So I could have went in with just like a Baby D graveyard poison, but I decided I want more ground tanks in front. So over here we get a good amount of damage. We had to NATO to take care of the Princess because the Princess can be quite irritating, as we can see later on in the game. So over here we get a good amount of damage, and we get a nice elixir lead because of playing the Baby just a little higher, trying to bait him to rocket. Okay, so we gotta keep our barrels clean. If we miss one of the barrel, we're gonna be in big trouble. So again, this time we go in with the graveyard. He places cannon card there, and then we get another good amount of damage in this push. Alright, so it's starting to cycle princesses in the opposite lane, which you guys will see. That is how you want to do it if you're the lockpick player, because it starts to get a little irritating for me towards the later part. So again, we're trying to get all the barrels clean here, because we don't have our graveyard now, so we just have to cycle baby D, and then we try to nail the princess. We gotta kill the princess, if not the princess is gonna be a huge problem later on when he stacks it up. So we're in the damage lead, but he has rocket, so we still have to do a lot more damage to his tower. If not, we will lose when he just rockets at the end. Again, we're not cycling any more troops in the back against lockbait with rocket. So I had to get my graveyard out, and then we had to throw the barrel. The bomb tower actually took care of it. So again, now we need to fight for the damage, because it's getting to about a minute left. And then here we try to kill the princess with the ice wizard, but he predicts with the cannon card. So that's a good prediction by him. So we had to play more troops to take care of the cannon card over here, which fortunately stops at the bridge. Again, we set our bomb tower on defense, and then we get a clean barrel off again. So we can see that his princess is still alive over there, and now looking like it's only a minute left. Should I deal with the princess, or do I really have to deal with the princess? So we're gonna let it go at this point, because he already got the rocket, he's in the damage lead. We tried to deal with it again, but it does the cannon card again. So that was kind of good by him. But we had to go in with the graveyard because there was no more time left, and we had to get our poisons away here. Okay, so his princess is starting to stack up, so I placed the bomb tower there to take care of one. I don't want him to get like too much damage here. This time he does this rocket barrel, which fortunately we managed to see and get it done cleanly. But because he used his rocket, so I had to go in for the push, because that was a rocket lock away. So this time we finally managed to get it done, and then we did the barrel again on defense, so it was getting close because it was just rocket away, so I had to pressure. I'm not sure if he rocket, he might have got it before me, because he just had to rocket and lock, but he did not. So we just went in at the bridge because there was no more time left. So thankfully we finally broke our PB, and now our PB is 7550. Of course, I'll continue to push till the end of the season, and hopefully we can hit much higher than that. Hopefully 77, 78, and if not higher. Alright, hope you guys enjoy this video and get some insight on how to play this Splashyard deck, which is quite common. If you guys like my video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I hopefully can bring you guys more Clash Royale content. Alright, so till the next video, we'll see you guys then. Take care.